Welcome, everyone. This is Glenda Dawson, and you're watching Glenda's Dragon's Den. Um, LD couldn't make it. I actually gave him the night off. No, joking. He decided to let it be ladies' night.
I was gonna say the girls don't need them. We just listen. Sometimes we gotta have a little girly time, a little girly chat.
Exactly. And my guest is a wonderful Haleigh Overseth.
Hi,
Hey, hi,
friends. Hey, hey, hey.
hi. How are you?
I'm so excited to be here and hang out. I'm just so happy. I love your little like fairy sparkle opening, by the way. That light effect in there just gives me like Tinkerbell vibes that I just love it.
That was one of the very few times my brain was working with technology.
That was the only time it had to. Now you're done.
That.
Mic drop. She's done, folks. It's fairy sparkle magic. It's wondermess, and she doesn't need to do anything else for you.
There
Sorry,
you go. There you go.
the magic is there.
So tell us about you so my audience could get to know you.
Hey y'all, I'm Haleigh Overseth of Franki's Podcast Network. You know me. You've seen me on the Parapost and the Global Ghost Hunt Live and Through the Lens and all my various podcasts that I do over on Franki's Podcast Network. And I also do science fiction writing. I don't know that everybody knows that I do that, but so the Adventures of Abernathy Franklin is my short podcast, fictional podcast series that I actually started. That's why I started podcasting. Was I was writing this short. It is, and I was just reading out my stories and like I'll put them out as a podcast.
Uh-huh.
And that's kind of like where I started with the Frankie's Podcast Network stuff. And so I do some of that. I'm very silly. You're not surprised, I'm sure, but that's kind of where my writing is. I got a lot of stuff in the silly sci-fi arena, but then I do have some other stuff in the paranormal sort of fiction arena I'm trying to finish up and publish. And then I do art. I do what I would, I guess, call sort of intuitive energy art.
Yes.
Like I
Intuitive
was,
art. Yeah. Wonderful.
yeah, I was telling you about it before we started. Like I don't have a plan. I just start with things and see what comes out.
And that's the best way, isn't it?
I love it. It's the easiest flow state process for me. Like it's easier than meditation. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I'm just going to play with these colors. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just going to what color do I want? We'll make a line here. We'll make a whatever line. What we'll do this. What's that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a
Mm-hmm.
face? Oh, that's a face. Oh, that's cool. Okay, I'll follow that. That's a face. And there's a nose. Okay, I got it. Sure. All right. Yeah, and it just kind of goes, and it's a great way for me to like sort of check out of my mind for a little while.
We all need that break. And that's a wonderful way of going on a break because you also create something that you can visualize and you could see and you could hang and you could put up and you could do as gifts or whatever you do. But you,
It's such a therapeutic thing too.
yeah, exactly.
You're in that connected flow state, and you can. That is when the things come through, the ideas, the channelings, the
Right.
stories, the sparks of like, oh, that's what that is. Like, oh, or that's a cool idea, right? Like
Hmm.
when your mind is chill and you're just playing like, hey,
Hmm.
this is just fun. What happens if I use these colors together or draw this line? It's just
Exactly.
playtime. And
Exactly.
that mindless play, man, we got to get back to that.
Yes. That is where your joy guy comes in and says, let's have some fun.
Little child comes out and is like, "Oh my god, have you thought about Bigfoot lately? Why don't we talk about Bigfoot more
Yeah,
often?" Like,
exactly.
but
You
like, what's
know,
up with Mothman?
no joke. Today, I was just looking through social media real quick, and Bigfoot kept coming up, and I'm like, why haven't had any talk about Bigfoot lately? It actually, I can't even remember
Sasquatch.
the last time I did.
Oh, we gotta have some. May we
What?
offer a segment, ladies and gentlemen, and
Yes,
just for a hot second, Glenda and I would like to offer a little bit of space for Bigfoot,
yeah.
Sasquatch, our
Anybody
furry
who
friend.
wants to talk about them,
Have
contact
you
both of
have
us.
you seen any? What are your stories? Did great
Yeah,
grandpappy like shoot at
yeah,
something in the woods?
yeah,
I want to know.
yeah, yeah. Me too.
I No, I do. Okay, let's. How fun would this be, right? Like,
Huh?
this is something that I would love to do as like part of like a travel sort of like vlog
Yeah,
podcast situation. Like,
yeah.
just go to places where people like have seen these things and just be
Hmm.
like, "Hello, locals. who has the stories? Please
Yeah.
tell me. Like, tell me you've got weird, blurry Polaroids from 1972.
I know. I
Like,
know. I
it's out.
know. It's like the New Jersey Devil, you know?
Tell me your thoughts
Oh,
about the New Jersey Devil.
it exists, honey. It exists.
Oh, this is so
Yeah.
fun.
I'm a Jersey girl, first of all.
Oh, I love.
You
Tell
know,
me
so,
from the inside baseball Jersey Devil with me.
well, I honestly feel that it is, a being that's here that goes in and out through the portal right there, through the pines, and just appears every once in a while and disappears again. But there's definitely something going on there. Because when you drive next to it, the energy feels different.
Have you seen
I
yourself?
have not seen.
Oh, we need to go looking for one.
We need to go look.
We need to go. Okay, so again, travel vlog. Like
Exactly.
we need to go
Exactly.
travel podcast. Like
Yep.
we need to go on a search. Where's the portal where Sasquatches are hanging out and where
Yep.
the Jersey Devils are
But
coming
I'm
through?
telling you, you ride on that turnpike and you feel the difference. You feel the difference in that section. The energy is so weird. So,
That's another thing I want to travel
yeah,
podcast for, like with like my energy friends and my peeps
yeah.
who tune in, right? Like, because I think it would be fun to get a group of people together who do
Mhm.
tune in, who are sensitive, go to
Right.
different spaces, like read the energy of the space for
Mm.
whatever energies or entities might be there,
Right. Right.
and then just try to like, okay, let's try to put as much like just good vibe energy into this space
Mhm.
as we can,
Mhm.
and just kind of see what happens after you leave.
Right.
Like go do a nice little like, hey, we're here, we see you,
Yeah.
and then do a
What's your
nice like,
story? Yeah.
right, and then just
Story.
like a big love, let's get a
Yeah.
group of us together and put as
Yeah.
much like good vibe juice into this space as we can,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
then like come back maybe a couple months later and be like, have we shifted, have we transmuted, how we doing over
Exactly.
here?
Exactly. I'm with you. I'm with you. I
Like
think we
it's like,
need to start setting these things up here now.
I think we do. Like I do like this like travel, like create like good energy pockets and just
Yeah.
try to spread the good energy in a collective group, right?
I think it would be a great idea. Even if different groups get together, like one gets on
But
one side of the country, the other one gets the other side of the country.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? You could have
Sure.
all your content creator friends. It
Yeah.
would be like, like Global Ghost Hunt Live just goes for a whole like summer situation. And it's just
Uh-huh.
like global energy chasing and leaving the pockets of happiness wherever you can go. Right?
There
Like,
you go. There you
and
go.
just, hey, y'all, let's see how much good we can do and how much sparkle we can really leave and just
Hmm.
see what happens.
Exactly.
I mean, nothing
Exactly.
bad could come of it.
No.
I think, that's the thing that I think, as much as people kind of get a little weird about the wooey woo stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People do.
Yes,
People can
they
get
do.
kind of weird about it. Like,
Yes, they
obviously, on
can.
Parapost, we're like, safe space, friends.
Right. Right.
Safe space.
Hmm.
But, like, sometimes the wooey woo makes people kind of, like, get weird. But it's like, but you like it. Like,
because then you wouldn't be watching, or you wouldn't be.
like, you're interested. You're curious. You
You,
know it's fun times when you're the wooey woo. You know only fun times come from it. You don't have to be jelly sauce. You can come hang out with us.
exactly. Exactly.
We'll teach you the energy stuff.
Hmm.
We'll teach you to tune in.
And most people know it anyway.
This
They just block it, like, no, no, I don't do that. But you knew that 6 months ago that this was going to happen. You're saying deja vu. What do you think deja vu is?
talk to me about deja vu. Talk to me about
Oh,
deja vu and inverse deja vu, because it's
uh,
some of my favorite things.
of course. You go
Okay.
for it. Go ahead.
No,
You
I
start.
love deja vu. Okay, so sometimes I have deja vu
Mm-hmm.
of having had deja vu of the same moment where I
Okay.
go,
Yeah.
okay, now this means that I'm remembering having done this at least twice before, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so I've played this level before and I'm back here again.
Yeah.
Okay, so
what turn did I miss?
exactly, like, what is there an extra energy packet or a like health box, whatever? Is there a chocolate bar I didn't grab, Willy Wonka? Like,
Right.
what did I miss here? Give me like, hello, okay, I get it, I notice it. Now what?
Exactly.
What do I do
Exactly.
with it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you
And
had those?
oh, I've had those. I've had those. And it's really interesting because you're like, wait, I remember. I remember even me saying I remember. Like,
Right. I remember remembering this.
right.
Like,
Exactly.
okay, now we've done, and that's sometimes when you get like, okay, now we've done this level too many times. Then, okay, what we
Hmm.
gotta go. We need a new level.
Yeah.
Like,
What turn must I not make or
yeah,
make? Either one.
like
It's
I
like,
don't know what the different thing is, but okay, let's present it to me. I will
yeah.
take, like, choose your own adventure. I will try. Then, like,
Exactly.
I'll go to
Exactly.
a different page and try something else. I'm for it.
Yeah. Exactly. Now
Sometimes. Oh, go
people
ahead.
get all weird up though about it. But yet, if you say, "Oh, I think that if you go down the road to the left, something's bad's going to happen," they don't take that seriously. But if they have deja vu or they seen it or whatever, it's like all of a sudden it's like, well, I don't really want to take that road. I
I
have
have a
fear of taking
weird, funny
a
feeling.
feeling.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But like, and that is a thing that I think too many people sort of brush off and dismiss. Like, you start
Right.
having these conversations with people and they'll start right away. It seems the same thing. Like, right away that they will maybe like, oh, that's kind of weird. That's strange. Right.
Hmm.
But you keep talking to people and like, oh, when I was a kid, this happened, or oh, I do
Hmm.
remember this one time when
Hmm.
something did, so it's kind of that thing of like, the more you talk about different, like deja vu, or
Right.
haven't you ever just had a funny feeling that you didn't want to go down that road, or
Hmm.
that little like pang in your gut that said, no, don't trust that person, right?
Hmm.
Like, we all have that, and I think that people just don't give it the credit for being like, hey, that is
Right.
like your intuition. That is your,
Exactly.
inner knowing, trying to
Hmm.
guide you a little bit and be like, hey, beep, beep, hi, pay attention.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about your art. Now,
Okay.
have you been trained in art or were you just,
I never thought of myself as an artist at all because
okay?
I don't have classical, like, see a thing, draw it skills. Like, if you
Right.
asked me to draw some, like, here's a tree and stuff, draw it, I'd do my best, but it would look like a 4-year-old did it. It would. I don't have the traditional skill.
Right.
But for me, it is really more the play. And I really do love, oh, thanks for sharing my art, pal. I appreciate
Yeah,
you.
of course.
But I do like I really love the oil pastels because of the
Hmm.
tactile. There's something kind of like following the smearing them. It makes me think of when I was a kid and I
Uh-huh.
used to play with my mom's like Avon or Mary Kay little. You remember those little baby samples
That's
of
right.
lipsticks and like eyeliners and things?
Right.
Like,
Right.
those became art supplies for me, right? So
Yeah.
I love that's why I love oil pastels, because it's got that kind of smeary sort of feel, right? So a lot of what
Hmm.
I do is kind of like in mixed media that's like oil pastels or kind of that smeary stuff. And I'll pull up, but I never really have a plan, right? Like, I just
Right.
kind of start doing lines and just sort of see where it goes. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, that's a face, or oh, that's a duck foot over there, and like, oh,
Hmm.
okay, I get it, and I'll color it in kind of, right, because I can kind
Right.
of see it.
Right.
And I just recently, I was showing you this beforehand. This is the most
Yes, it's
recent one I
beautiful.
did.
Yeah.
So this is Matilda, and Matilda is a sort of water air elemental dragon energy.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
again, I would like this didn't even start this way. I drew like spiky wing lines this way and ended up shifting it because I was like, oh, that's not quite right. So like, it's interesting how, like, as I go, I'll kind of start to notice or to see like, oh, that line, it really is by feel. Like, oh,
Right.
that line wasn't quite right. That didn't follow where it was supposed to go. I
Right.
have to kind of like go over it, and that's kind of part of also why I like the oil pastels, because I can chunk enough of it over the top that I can like cover up something if it wasn't quite right.
Right.
Right. And it is. It's kind of like
Right.
it's a process where I'm just like, okay, I'm just feeling my way to like, what is the correct thing? What's the next color I'm supposed to use next to this one?
Mm-hmm.
And I think because I don't have any kind of classical art skills,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing for me to draw on to think I'm like doing something wrong, or that there's a method
Right.
or a process I'm supposed to be using.
Right.
It really just is kind of mindless play for me. And then I just like, oh, these are the things that come out. Like,
Which those energies want you to channel them,
right.
like that dragon, Matilda.
And I do get the names. Like Matilda's been one that I've like kind of doodled before, and I got
Uh-huh.
like a little happy kind of like look like almost like a Loch Ness monster sort of like little creature face, right?
Right.
And little like head stuck up out of like some water or whatever. And this was like a couple of years ago, and then the names just kind of pop into my head, right? Like, oh, that's Matilda, like, and then it'll,
Mm-hmm.
if it like, I can energetically kind of sense if it's correct,
Right.
and if I keep using it and referring to it, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, like when I say that name and kind of tune in a little bit, it clicks, and it's like, okay, that's who that is,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a fun little exploration, and it does help me to like create my science fiction stories and sort of channel. That's the other fun thing too, right? When you get into this like tuning into the energies and
Mm-hmm.
kind of this play and this exploration, right? It's like, well, everything that you're tuning into, everything you think of or imagine exists somewhere in the multiverse. It's real somewhere. So you're
Mm-hmm.
tuning into a story, you're tuning into information,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's the thing that's kind of exciting. It's like, oh, well, this is a puzzle now. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what information can I get? Like, what can you tell me about you, Matilda? And and I was gonna like, this is another one. So this I did before I did her, that other dragon portrait of her.
Right.
But like, I got that this was her energy, very sort of like water and air mixed together, very fluid, very like sort of almost vapory,
Right.
not very settled, right?
Right.
Like,
But the energy is there, definitely. You could
and that's
tell.
right. Like, and that's the thing that I think is kind of fun about it too, is that whenever I look at it, there's always kind of like a, did I really make that? Like, but it's really cool. Like, I like that, you know? And that is part of the fun of it, that
Mhm.
you don't really know what's going to come out or what information you're going to get.
And
So
that's probably the best part of it. Because you did not get any formal art
mhm.
education, then you're free to do whatever you want. And they tune into that.
And I think that's true. Like, just because it is just play and I don't have preconceived, this is what this is, or this is what goes together,
Right.
or how you do it,
Right.
right? I can just kind of, okay, we're just going. We'll just
Mm-hmm.
follow it. And then eventually I'll kind of see, like, oh, I get it. Okay, sure. We'll follow that. Cool.
Now, as you've been doing this, have you noticed your connection is stronger?
I really would like to spend more time doing art, because it is, the more frequently I do sit down to do abstract art, the more I will get the sort of, it really, the best I really can't explain it is just like words or names or phrases
Right.
that pop into my head that I know aren't me,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where it'll
Mm-hmm.
come in and I'll be like, huh? Who, what? Right? Like, and I've
Right.
gotten, the fun thing for me too, or like the interesting thing is like, I've gotten other languages. Like one
Okay.
time I got the word Achtung, and I was like, okay, I know that's German, but I had to look it up, right?
Right.
Like, I took German in high school, and I was like, I recognized that it was German, but I still had to like Google it, and
Right.
it
Right.
was attention, and I was like,
Okay.
hello, I'm listening. Yes, attention, attention. Hello,
Uh-huh.
gotcha. What's up? Or like one time I was sitting and doing art like late at night, at just like sitting by my window, just kind of playing with some of my oil pastels, and I got
Mm-hmm.
buena suerte. And I took Spanish in college, and I was like, okay, I know that's Spanish, and I had to go look it up again because I couldn't remember. But I was like, it was good luck.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Sure. Thank you. Appreciate
Exactly.
it. Like,
Exactly.
so I do notice that when I do more abstract art more often, when I
Right.
get in that flow state where I'm not thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
About really anything. I'm just following what I'm doing.
Right.
That's when the things pop in, or that's when the ideas come in, or the stories that
Mm-hmm.
I was telling you, these are,
Mm-hmm.
this back here, these shapes. I've been drawing something similar to that for like 3 years and couldn't quite always figure out what it was. And eventually it kind of like, the more I drew them, the more it came to me like, oh, those are like glowing plants. Like they're kind of like cactus that look like crab claws.
Mm-hmm.
And I like, the more I had, like, I had this up on the wall, and actually the more I had this up on the wall, the more I like kind of tuned into, oh, these are bioluminescent cactus plants on a planet that orbits a black hole instead of a sun. And so for light, they need these bioluminescent plants. And that's some other version of me in the multiverse takes care of those plants. That's
Mm-hmm.
my job. And extra fun, when you drink the aloe vera type juice of these plants, you glow whatever the neon color of the plant is.
Oh, now I need that. I need that.
Right? We
Now,
got to get out into the cosmos and try this. I want to glow pink.
yeah, it's like what?
How much? Why would you not? Like, turn me into a glow stick. Let's have a rave. Oh my god, Glenda, we need to have a 12 ladies witches coven out in the woods. Silly sauce. We are glow stick
Oh,
time.
yeah.
We have to. Oh, you calling it in from the universe. Print it here.
Yeah,
Like, it's been
yeah,
announced. I don't
yeah.
know who the other 10 ladies are who are going to volunteer to be in the woods and play with some glow sticks and just be silly times with me and Glenda. But guess what? You're invited. Come on
There
in.
you go. There you go.
Ladies' night is being open extended invitation. We are all going to go out and enjoy some time under the moon, y'all. It's going
Mm.
to be groovy.
There you go. There you go. I like it. I like
I
it.
love it. And we'll bring some art supplies and we can do some art
There you go. There you
and
go.
just see what kind of art we make together.
Yeah.
Nothing
Sounds
like getting
perfect.
out some sidewalk chalk and going after the rocks outside, right?
Yep. Yep.
Get, hey there, little rock. You want to be pretty today? We'll
And
make you
and
blue.
and that's how, during COVID, the townships around here used to hide little messages, put messages, and people would paint rocks, and
Mm-hmm.
then they would hide it, and people would be given a hint.
Oh, go find the
Go
rock.
find a rock, and it usually have like, you matter, smile,
Yeah,
you're loved, whatever. And it turned out to be a really big thing. and
I
and it's
love
still
that stuff.
happening now, not as much, but it's still happening now, which is, I think, it's fantastic. I
I
think
see
it's
those little
something.
painted rocks around here when I go walk my dog sometimes, and I just think, good for you, person who painted a rock and put it outside and said, ha ha ha, someone will find this.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, good for you. Do you know what I always wanted to do too?
Uh-huh.
It's like, I always wanted to like hide little Easter eggs with little notes, or like, a
Yeah.
$20 bill and a little note, and just like hide it somewhere in a park and just be like, someone will find this hanging in a tree or whatever. Do you know, I
Mhm.
found, speaking of finding stuff hanging in a tree, a couple of days ago, I found this hanging in a tree.
Oh.
It says, I need a home. I found a quilted heart, and it's ifaqh.com. Like, it's a whole thing. I found a quilted heart. And they have their own
Oh.
website and everything
Oh.
for these little, like,
Wow.
it's
That's
just
so
so cute.
cute.
I know. I was
Oh.
like, oh, how sweet. It's just like little gifts of little love for people. Just, I was like, oh, I love that.
And you found it and made your day, I am
And it
sure.
was just so, I was walking my dog and was like, there's a heart in the, what is that? Oh, what? And it did make my day, because I was like, I just love it that people are doing those things.
Exactly.
You
Little
know,
things like that, that's all you need, right? It's just
I
all you
just
need.
love you. I love seeing that when people do fun little things just
Mhm.
around their community like that,
Yeah,
just
exactly.
because,
Exactly.
just for the
It's
pick me up good energy that it is.
mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
It's
So
leaving the sparkle, right?
exactly. Exactly. And spreading it, because if you get it, then you spread it out, and that's it.
And it just
All
keeps,
over.
it keeps growing. That's how you get the world to change, one sparkle at a time.
Mhm. There
That's
you
how we
go.
do.
Exactly. So we were talking about Parapost, and we were talking about Global Ghost Hunt.
Yes.
You kind of mentioned it. So what exactly is Global Ghost Hunt? For those that don't know,
For
I'm
the
sure there's very
uninitiated,
few people. I'm sure by now there's very few
they
people.
all gotta know. Come
They all
on.
got to know. They all have to
Global
know.
Ghost Hunt. We're the 17th through the 27th of October, y'all. We are
Mhm.
going to have all kinds of art teams having paranormal investigations all over the world. Some of them will be live, some of them will be pre-recorded. I've got some pre-recorded stuff hands up
Yeah,
because I'm in the outdoor spaces where the 5G may not be live sauce approved.
yeah,
So
exactly.
pre-recording happening for me, but come check
Mhm.
it out. There's lots of cool locations that people I am super excited for some of the international locations
I know.
that
I
we have.
know. Oh, you guys really got to.
You guys can check
Ooh.
them out. I'm so excited. But I'm so just so super excited for
Yeah.
just doing the investigation.
Hmm.
Because like so my friend Crystal and I, we've done Spook Road, that this is a bridge that's like kind of notoriously haunted in the
Right.
area, right? Like
Hmm.
this
Hmm.
road that like was haunted for like the longest time, and then like 10 or 12 years ago it got washed out in a flood, and like you can't drive through it anymore. You have to like
Right.
walk to get to the bridge, and it's like
Hmm.
closed off. So like we checked that out, and it was just such a good time. I mean, we're climbing around down the bridge in the grass and getting on the rocks. And like, y'all, you better be prepared to see me just fully sat in the river in my jeans and t-shirt, just like in my clothes, sat in the river just because, like, you
Oh,
know what? Sometimes I just want to tune into the energies a little extra, and water's a great conductor.
it is. It
We're
is.
going to just
It's
go ahead
perfect.
and chill right here in the river.
It's perfect. It was perfect. I'm sure.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
so fun. It is. It's just fun to get out with your friends.
Right. Exactly. And so Chris Binder, what is
Chris,
GGH?
what is it? Stop it, Chris. Chris,
Chris.
you silly. Yeah, I'll get you on Sunday. Don't worry. I get you. Think you can get away? You can't get away. I'm coming for you.
Now, for those that don't know, I'm also part of it, but I'm not doing an investigation. I am helping the teams, whoever needs any help,
And she
basically.
can tune in. Y'all,
Mhm.
okay. So for those who might not have seen, like when Glenda came to chat on the Global Ghost Hunt Live and let us know. So Glenda was so very kind, and I still so appreciate you that you tuned into my place, because
Mhm.
I had my candles off at the back of the toilet, like whew, somebody just pushed those suckers. Too
Mhm.
heavy for them to have slid off, and not big enough, or could not have been but pushed.
Right.
So you tuned in and you got a little boy, 5 or 6, blonde hair,
Mhm.
blue eyes. And so I
Mhm.
started kind of like, okay, hi, how you doing? What's up?
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
Saying hello. And I kind of got again where the names were popping into my head,
Right.
which is interesting because I was also doing some art, like
Right.
playing. So again, right, getting into the space where like, okay, I'm open to talking to you.
Mhm.
So first I got the name Cooper, and I kind of
Mhm.
thought it was like a middle name or something. I was getting that it wasn't like his first name.
Right.
And I was like, okay. And then the other morning, I was like, 5 a.m. was right around the time that like my brain kind of wakes up. And I got the name Darren. And as I got that name, I kind of got this like Darren B. Cooper, DB Cooper. Oh, oh, you're funny. Oh, you're clever. Oh, I see what that is. Very nice. Very good. DB Cooper. Okay, Darren B. What's up? How you doing? And as I kind of have these dominoes falling in my brain of putting it
Right.
together that it's a funny sauce, I hear another clink crash out in my kitchen, and something has fallen into my sink. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh, okay, confirmation. Very good. Thank. Hi. How you doing? Good morning. What's up,
Mhm.
DB Cooper? How you doing?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
later when I got up, my like scrubby brush thing for pots and pans that was like up on the back of the sink had been
Right.
pushed off and off of there into the sink and onto my plates and stuff that were in there. So that's what I
Mhm.
heard. And I was like, okay, cool. So if anyone needed confirmation as to whether Glenda is the real juice, I can tell you she is. And hello to DB Cooper if he'd be hanging
DB
out with
Cooper.
us tonight.
Yeah.
How you doing, DB? What's up? I loved that too, though, because I was just like,
Really?
I get it because that's so right up my alley, and I'm like pretty sure that I love watching like those kind of unsolved mystery type
Right.
shows or like
Oh,
shows about that kind of stuff.
those are the best.
Yeah, and I've had that on the TV in here, so I'm sure you've seen it. So like if that was a thing you thought was adventure sauce fun too, good for you.
Mhm,
I get it. Very
mhm.
funny. But I'm excited. I'm so excited for us to hang out for Global Ghost Hunt too and just
Yes.
see what you can tune into
Mhm.
and see if I can sort of help boost that energy and
Of
whether I can kind
course.
of like tune in a little bit too and see if there's anything I get, you
I
know?
I think it'd be great for, both
Oh,
of us tuning in and
I should get some of my like just markers or colors or something and just kind of have and just like
oh,
and just see.
yeah,
Just doodly doodle and see if anything does come about.
that would be a great idea.
Oh, I'm so
Oh,
excited.
yeah.
Oh, I think I'm gonna do that because I do. I've got like smaller, like I could just kind of sit here with some paper and just kind of
Mhm.
see does anything come up while we're chatting and they're talking about stuff and do we get
And
any pictures or
yeah,
images or energy?
exactly. Exactly. Because I'm sure that they're tuning in too, you know. They're
And
like,
just
"Oh, let's see these crazy humans."
these humans, you guys are doing this global style now. Oh my goodness. Look at you are all getting real serious about trying to talk to us, right? I mean, hey, yeah, we are. Hi. We
Yeah,
know you're out there. You know we're here. I think some of
exactly.
you do. But even that is
Um,
kind of an interesting. Tell me, just let's veer off into this for a little bit. Have
okay.
you kind of experienced other maybe energies or entities or sort of like that's not in my universe timeline precisely. You're outside of my stuff. But it's that something it doesn't notice you.
Yes, I have
Like
experienced that.
tell
But
me,
I've
tell me that.
also, well, we always go into places. Well, I have gone into a place and I really did it on purpose. Set the intention I will walk in and nobody would notice me, even the living that was there. So when I did that, the ghost also, for all intents purposes, didn't notice me. So it was great. I was
That
like,
is invisibility cloak magic. Oh my goodness, I
yeah,
love it. That is
yes,
pretty
yes.
rad.
That was like, and I honestly did it just to practice, to say,
Just
hey,
to do
let
it.
me just say, just see if I could have some fun with it. And then I was like, oh, I need to use this so often.
I need to go invisible all the time. Like, excuse me, I'm gonna go just get my groceries and not be bothered today.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna
exactly.
go for my walk and just be like, everybody, listen. I know
I'm
y'all
not
want to
here.
talk to me, spirits, but I need a hot minute to
Yeah.
myself.
Well, no, I've set rules. I've set rules.
Boundaries.
Yes,
Do you know what I
because
do?
24/7 is not a good thing.
No, and you do need some space, and
Yeah,
it gets noisy in there.
it does. It does. And
This is true.
I say, okay, office hours are, this. I'll give you this
Office
time,
hours.
this appointment. I'll give you
This
this
is
appointment.
because you're like the therapist. You're like very Beetlejuice therapist style, right? Like, guys,
Like,
okay, listen, that's your tight half hour that you get for the day, okay? And
mhm,
then we'll see you next week,
yeah,
Thursday, all right?
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I
Well, that's
gotta
what I do. A lot of the times I send them to Thursday nights. When I do my
really do
mediumship.
you?
Yeah, for real. Thursday nights when I do the mediumship classes.
I love it. Like, hey,
Yeah,
y'all, hold on to the good stuff till Thursday.
exactly. It's
I love it.
and then my anybody who joins me can practice with those spirits.
Oh, but that's really great. That's like, hey, who wants to be? It's like young Frankenstein at the beginning when he's doing the neurology class in
Yeah.
the, like who wants to practice? I mean, not that that's
Yeah,
just my funny brain. That's the first
right,
thing I thought
right.
of because that's one of my favorites. And because for some reason, Gene Wilder popped in at me the other
Uh,
night. And this
uh-huh.
is a thing that's interesting for me. I don't know how.
Pizza sushi.
No, it is. So the
No, Chris.
what? What? I missed the comment. I don't see it.
I
What?
need pizza. Pizza.
Pizza sushi?
Yeah.
We need pizza. I need pizza sushi. Don't we all need pizza sushi in this world? I tell you what. And you know what? Gene Wilder, Willy Wonka, he's probably the one who would have made it for us. He would
Yeah.
have figured that out, and it would have been
Mm-hmm.
extra weird, and it would have come with some Oompa Loompa song, and it would have
Yeah.
been magical.
And it would have tasted terrific.
And it would have tasted delicious. But
Yeah.
I like, so this is something that and in one of my episodes of the Adventures of Abernathy Franklin, I kind of, so like I have this episode where Franki and one of the versions of her in the multiverse, like
Right.
she keeps bumping into infinite versions of herself and they end up hanging out. I like, yes, I agree with the pizza. Everyone like pizza sushi all day, every day. That's going to be the new Parapost like official snack. Is I
There
think
you go. I
that's,
think it's a perfect.
I think it is.
Watch somebody try to invent it.
Please, I will watch that video. I don't know,
Yeah.
like, show me how you make it, y'all. Like, let's have some Parapost cooking shows. Like, what? Like, Food Network's got nothing on how fun we are.
Nah.
Nothing. I mean, come on, show me your best pizza sushi, y'all.
Exactly.
Show me your best. I want to see it. But so like in one of my episodes,
Right.
Franki and a couple of the Abernathy Franklins go to a fourth dimensional improv where they see the fairy elemental versions of Gilda Radner and John Belushi performing sketch comedy, basically.
Okay.
And when I wrote this episode, I was kind of like tuning in and having conversations with John Belushi and Gilda Radner. Like, I'm a big fan of SNL, old SNL stuff. That's stuff I used to watch with my dad. And it's kind of interesting now that I'm talking about it and thinking about it. So my dad passed away in 2020, COVID, I mentioned. And one of my kind of boundaries for spirits and entities, energies, whoever's trying to talk at me, making my ears buzz, right? Is like, okay, dad and my grandma, y'all are my bouncers. You get to say who's talking to me, who like you get to say who comes in next and explain to them the best ways to communicate with me. Like, I know song lyrics and music. If they can give me a song to get a message to me, that's a way that you can like translate information to me. Right. But I do kind of tend to really tune into like SNL comedians that have passed away, that I'm fans of their stuff. And I do get a sense a little bit that like dad's the one who's being helpful on that. Dad's like, no, the funny ones. No, the funny ones. Get them. Yeah. No, because she writes and she does stuff like, get the funny ones. So I have had like, like John Belushi and Gilda Radner, and like just kind of like in my house as I'm writing stuff, kind of like, it's an interesting sort of third eye consciousness. Like I see them interacting almost like siblings that are squabbling. Like they're just very kind of silly together.
Yeah, you probably see them like a movie type of thing, like the show, like if it was a show.
It is.
Yeah.
And I'll see like things that they're wearing, right? And it's interesting. But I've had also where I've tuned into like, I remember being in kind of I was not in a super great consciousness mindset, shall we say. I was having a rough day.
Okay.
And sometimes when I was trying to like find somebody to tune into, and I tuned into like Robin Williams, but he was very like, it was like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and Mr. Hyde was out. And like, it was very strange and very like, he was very like twitchy and twerky and weird. And it was, I don't know. It was kind of interesting. I was getting a sense of like, okay, there's a little bit of this energy that I'm in that is an upsetting energy that I think you just recognize and experienced yourself. And I'm seeing that version of your personality experiencing that, right? And I had to sort of tune out and be like, okay, nope, we got a boundary set on that one. Like that one's freaking me out right now and making this energy worse. Right. So I did have to be like, yeah, no. I was looking for funny and this is not comic relief right now. Like, no. That's not working.
Yeah, he did experience, obviously a lot of depression and he didn't show it. So,
well, right. And I that was probably a little bit for me. Like you're in a space and maybe you need to like, don't be hiding that all the time. You got to talk to people. Right. And like, So it is interesting sometimes when you do tune into that and you get those sort of, I don't know, how would you kind of explain that? Just being able to kind of get the energetic story or information.
Right. They kind of channel to you a message to kind of push you in the right direction or show you which direction not to go into.
Yeah.
Because by you setting up your boundaries and saying, no, no, I'm already low today. I don't need to go
Yeah.
lower. You actually took accountability for how you were feeling and said, nope, okay, no, I'm looking for a funny show. I'm
Yeah.
looking for somebody
Like,
who's just
that's not the energy we're doing right now.
no, exactly,
That's not where we're
exactly,
at.
exactly. So,
And
and
it is a practice.
it is, it is. And it's also good because you acknowledge that no, that's my boundary today.
Yeah.
Not that. Or any other day. I mean, I like funny. I really like funny.
Mhm.
And I remember just like your father, with my father watching all these old comedies and black and whites and all this other
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
And I would laugh more at how he was laughing than the actual show that
Oh
I was watching
yeah.
because he would just laughing was contagious. But it created that memory. So when I go looking for, I'm having an off day like you were, and I'm
Mhm.
looking for um, somebody to give me comfort or push me out of that mood. I'm looking like you did for comedy, not.
Yeah,
I
don't
don't
kick
need
it
somebody
weirder.
else sad. I'm already sad. I
I
don't
know, right?
need
Like, guys, we're not doubling down on this one. We're leaving the
no.
table. Like,
No,
we're gonna go see a show. Okay.
exactly,
Like
exactly,
we're taking this in a different direction. So
exactly.
thank you for
Yeah.
trying, and I
Mhm.
appreciate, but never know.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
You
And
just
I
have to.
and that's how you're supposed to do it, because you setting up your boundaries. So,
I think there's a really big part of it too that comes to play, especially like as I'm kind of like moving through sort of navigate, because I'm still, this is still new to me, I would say,
mhm.
because like really it's been since kind of 2020 and the lockdown and losing my dad and just like a lot of things that were kind of,
Mhm.
it's really still fairly recent to me exploring
Right.
a lot of these things. And like, obviously, I would like to transition into full time exploring these things, working on it, doing my best, y'all.
Uh-huh.
But it's the more that I do kind of practice and sort of, again, navigate the
Right.
waters of it a little bit,
Mhm.
the more
Mhm.
I kind of do recognize that a lot of it comes down to having to trust that what you're getting, like, okay, no, that isn't actually me. That has to be this other information.
Mhm.
And, when you're getting things that are repetitive, right? Especially when you're like, God, why can't I stop thinking about that, talking about that? Or was that thing that just keeps like, well, okay, well, that's a thing that's talking to you.
Mhm.
And I think that is a big thing too, like trusting that you are getting that, and then also trusting that when you set that boundary it's being understood,
Right.
right? So like, so
Exactly.
trusting that, like, okay, dad and grandma, you are understanding, okay, we're the bouncers, and if today's a bad day, sorry, we're closed for business,
Mhm.
you can't come in,
Right.
right? Or who is it that I need to talk to, bring them around, I will talk to them,
Right.
right? And so just trusting that when I set that intention, it's understood,
Right.
right? When I set that intention, I don't have to be forceful about it. I don't have to put more energy into it. I just have to say,
Mhm.
okay, this is what my intention is, or this is what I'm going after, and or this is my boundary. And okay, I trust that it's understood. And
Exactly.
so I have to also trust that these other things that are coming into me are, yeah, these are other interesting things that I'm
Mhm.
channeling. And it's fun and it's exciting, and but I'm still learning to navigate. So that's why I do also appreciate having people like you to ask questions and to get more, okay, what's your perspective and how did you do this?
Exactly. Now, Chris,
You need your spiritual
the
GPS.
GPS.
Are you selling those? Do you have an Amazon shop? Where can I get one? Like, is it a 2-day shipping situation? I need it
Uh,
right.
and
I
think
think
about
this
it.
is
Really
pre-recorded.
put
No,
it-
it's
Yeah.
not pre-recorded. I just can't see the comments as quick. I'm not used to this platform yet. I'll get there, y'all. But hi
We're
everybody. Hi
using a
friends.
different platform, people. We're just
I'm
using
just
my platform instead of hers.
Don't worry, y'all. I'm like, hey, hi, thanks for stopping in. Peace, y'all. Big loves. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
glad that you're here.
And something about Rob got home 7 minutes
Oh,
ago.
okay. Hi to Rob. Good. What's up, Rob? How you doing? Hey, Omni, how you doing? Like, cool. I don't know. I sure. I agree.
I agree. That's
I'm
okay.
sure. I think that's Rob Gothier, who channels Treb. I don't know if you know
Oh, okay.
Treb and
Yeah,
Ardif. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
I love it. Good. I like having the status updates. Status update, SpongeBob.
There you go. There you
That's
go.
I think, I think I might start actually using that for when I'm checking in with any of the spirits. Status update, SpongeBob. Like, what are y'all doing?
What are you doing?
What's up? What is your like there's a thing that I would love to know. What are some of your favorite ways to kind of tune in or kind of sort of find your center and sort of clear things out so you can be like, "Hey, who's here and who wants to talk?"
Well, it all depends from day to day, but believe it or not, I usually go to music and it has to be Pitbull. I literally put my headphones on, put Pitbull on, and just, and then even within all that noise, basically,
Yeah.
you know, I still get my messages.
I love that. This is why I love talking to my other friends who are in these spaces exploring this stuff because you don't have to always be sat with your eyes shut trying to breathe the right
No,
way and thinking so hard and trying to get your like you can I'm such a like out in the I'm a forest bather.
yeah,
Y'all go out walking in nature and
yeah,
that is like a great way
beautiful.
too for me to tune in and I get like that is really a great space for me to get messages when I'm just out chilling in nature, touching the grass,
Hmm.
listening to the
Hmm.
birds, like
My
great things
favorite,
come in.
my favorite thing to do is besides the beach. That's a given.
Mhm.
Everybody knows who knows me knows that. But I love to sit on my back porch, with a cup of coffee,
Yeah.
and especially in the summertime where you hear all the birds, you see all the birds, you see the
Yeah.
butterflies, and it's just like I just focus on that, and before I know it, I'm not even there. I'm just
Yeah.
out there in space, just having a great old time. So,
Having a great old time, just waiting
mhm.
for somebody to bop on over and say hello and let you know what's going on in their neck of the woods,
Exactly, exactly,
right?
exactly. But they do come at any point, at any time for me. So, and it's
They
because
just
there are
sort of show
certain
up.
they call it emergencies. Like if I need certain information before I even wake up the next day, or if I need certain information,
Okay, but that's nice.
the witching hour. It's a big one for them.
I am like it I do notice like getting woken up at certain times of the
Yeah,
night or being woken up and I'll hear my ears are doing the ringing thing and I'm
yeah,
like, okay, I get it that it's you guys, but I'd like
yeah,
to go back to sleep. So can we what's the download? What's the
yeah.
frequency, Kenneth? Let's get the message like, hello?
Let's,
Okay.
yeah, let's
And
get it.
then like
So I
I'm
can
gonna
go
fall
to
back
sleep.
asleep, y'all. You gotta get in here before my brain just slides back into dreamland, or you gotta come with me into dreamland and tell me the story there. You
Exactly,
make
exactly.
it good so I remember when I wake up.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
Like
I keep telling them, if you guys forget that still in human body here. We still got this meat suit we got to worry about.
and
Yeah.
it's sometimes the meat suit doesn't don't you sometimes feel a bit like SpongeBob when like Plankton's up in his brain pulling the levers and
Yeah,
how do I work this thing? I gotta take this everywhere I go. I can't just think myself somewhere and like,
yeah.
man, this is so sometimes the like physical human linear time thing is like,
Mhm.
guys, this is a little bit slow here.
And it takes a lot of energy, right?
It does. Like it really does. Like, man, I got to operate this whole thing all day when I'm awake.
Hmm.
It's a
Hmm.
lot.
When you sleep, you could fly, go anywhere, do whatever you
You
want.
can have all kinds of stuff. My dad does visit me in my dreams all the time. And so one of the things that because I've like started like to be like, Dad, talk to me in my dreams. And because that was the one thing that like in my dreams, I will notice him, I'll see him, but it's
Mhm.
not usually until like I would go to like hug him goodbye or something that I would be like, oh, that's right, he's gone. He's not here
Right.
anymore. Like he's not in this corporeal realm anymore. And then I would be like, oh shit. But then I would wake up,
Right.
right?
Right.
And I was always like, oh, but I want to try to talk to you. I want to recognize it before I go to hug you and try to talk to you.
Right.
And so one night I had this dream where I was like, I don't know, in some weird upstairs closet with some people playing like dress up or something kind of. And
Okay.
we were like, yeah, we were like getting ready to go and Dad was there and he had like weird goggles on and stuff. But like we were getting ready to go and I went to go hug him and he like was like running away from me. And I was like, what are you doing? Excuse me, I'm trying to give you a hug. And he's like, no, I can't. I'm arm wrestling. And I woke up and I remember being so pissed off. What do you mean you're arm wrestling? That's the dumbest thing you could possibly say. I was trying to give you a hug. What kind of crap is that? And then I was like, oh, like he remembered that when I hug him, I wake up and he was
Right.
trying to give me time.
Right.
Like he was trying to give me time to figure it out and talk to him. And I was like,
Mm.
oh, okay, try again. Blah. Like, how do I get a do-over? And so I started saying, like, Dad, show me a blue ball in my dreams.
Right.
Kimmy's blue ball from BuzzFeed Unsolved when they throw this blue ball down a
Oh
hallway.
God, yes.
And and my dad's name was Tim. So I was like,
Okay.
Timmy's blue ball. Show me a blue ball in my dreams. Well, I haven't seen a blue ball in my dreams, but I started seeing blue ball toys in the world
Okay.
in my daytimes
Okay.
and being like, okay, hi Dad, what's up? We're here in this lucid dream, I guess. What am I supposed to be doing?
Right.
What do I do with this? Like, or I found like a blue ornament, like a
Mm.
Christmas ornament, like out walking just in the park and like just a
Okay.
random blue Christmas ornament. Right. And it's those little things like that where it's like, okay, hi Dad, I see you. I said a blue, like, okay, I get it. It's a
Right.
round blue thing, Christmas ornament. Or it's a like one of the time it was a laundry ball, those wool laundry balls,
Oh yes. Okay.
or like a dog toy, or like just different stuff. But it just always kind of shows up where I'm like, okay, that's
Mhm.
interesting. And you're trying to talk to me here.
Mhm.
I get the toy, but what do I now? What else? Hello? Attention, I get it. You have my attention. Now what? Right? And so
Right.
that's one of the places where I'm still navigating a little bit, trying to
Well,
okay, I get you're flagging me down, but for what?
yeah, I know. So tell us about your podcast, and I'll put your YouTube
Oh,
up.
I was gonna say, check me out, Frankie's Podcast Network on
Okay.
YouTube. So yeah, you can go
Okay.
YouTube Franki. So it's Frankie with an
Mhm.
I. Frankie's Podcast
Mhm.
Network. I
Mhm.
have my No Small Stories podcast, my Day of Fun podcast, my brother John podcast with me. I have my ADHB podcast. I have my Frankie's Open Mic Night where I bring people on. I have a lot of different podcasts, y'all. My fictional podcast, my Effortless Gods podcast with my friend Sage. But the biggest thing for me, really, and my Nuvius podcast with my friends over at Nuvius, the nonprofit that we're, setting up and doing some cool
Nice.
stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
But my whole thing is that I want to learn more about you guys. I want to learn more about people doing fun, cool stuff out in the world. I want to give people an outlet for their creativity, for their business, for their whatever
Mhm.
it is that you do. What's your thing that you're passionate about that you do that is not the normal thing that we're all told is the only option you have in life to do? Like, I want to know what you're doing. Tell me the thing you're doing to be your authentic self. I want to give you a space, a platform, a place where you can show off. And
There you go.
that's my thing is there's so many people out in the world making great content, making great products, have brilliant ideas and are doing really cool things, or making really awesome indie music. And I want to meet them all and talk to them all and learn about all your stuff and show you to the world, because I just think everybody deserves to have their stuff seen, and there is room for everybody to do well and thrive. And I want to do my part in helping people to do that. So check me out at Franki's Podcast Network on YouTube, because I just want to spread the love and the fun, y'all.
And then I'm gonna put your Facebook contact info so
Come
people
check me out.
Yes.
Come on over, be my friend on the Facebooks, and guess what will happen? I'll probably ask you to come hang out on a podcast.
There you go.
Like Chris, if Chris is still in the comments too, he and Glenda knows, and Brian, and many of my Parapost friends know. You can't get away from me. I will make you hang out on a podcast with me. You can't escape.
Well, Chris, here's Chris.
Live the dash. Always live the dash. It's so true. And you know what? That's just so on brand for Parapost too. Like a nice little gravestone. Y'all, it's not the front date. It's not the back date. It's the space in between. Life is about the journey. Sometimes you're on a weird little detour and you can't figure out why you're on it. And it's not always the funnest, but you got to just make the best of it. Come hang out with me on a podcast. Me and Glenda, we'll make your day better, because we're fun.
There you go.
Come chill with us. I've had so much fun. I can't believe an hour is almost.
Look at it.
It's the podcast. Oh, that is so absolutely correct, Miss. All day, every day. I am plotting the plots on the plotcasts. We're going to take over the world, Glenda. It's going to be great.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
Secret sauce. Love it.
Well, we're almost towards the end, and do you have anything else you want to share?
You know what, folks, I just so appreciate everybody who jumps in and checks things out. And I really do appreciate it when y'all come in and comment and you do the subscribe things. And I appreciate y'all when you comment on my art and check out my little stories and stuff. I really do have so much love for all the peeps who are here and hanging out and chilling. It makes it so much more fun when you have playmates in this creative world, right? Yeah. And I'm so glad to have so many awesome playmates that are willing to have these fun conversations with me, and again, not try to put me in a straitjacket in a rubber room. Thank you for allowing me to continue to roam free, y'all.
Or burn you in the cross.
Yes, please don't burn us at the stake. Please don't. Listen, don't throw me in the river. Like, I can swim, okay, but like.
I've been in the water. I died and I came back. So,
right? Like ultimate baptism, y'all. I remember that other life where I had that whole thing happen. Like, yep.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm with it.
I love it. Right, sweetheart. Thank you for being here. And as always, for having me. We want you to come back anytime.
Oh, I will. More.
Of course. Thank you to the audience, and hold on. I just want to say, as always, we love you. We send you blessings, and
keep on sparkling, y'all.